The Banshees' Lament. The last light died a sudden bruising death over the bogs of County Clare, leaving behind a silence so thick it felt like velvet wrapped around the ears. Liam McKenna did not believe in the silence. He was a sound engineer, professionally skeptical, tasked with placing highly sensitive atmospheric recorders inside an old abandoned Anglo-Irish manor. He had been hired by a collector who believed the house held acoustic signatures of the past. Liam thought it held dust and bad wiring. He set up his last microphone, a hyper-directional model, in the great hall. It was midnight. The only sound should have been the hiss of the equipment and the distant wind. But tonight, the air was still, and the microphone was picking up a sound, an incredibly low, continuous hum. It was too soft for the human ear to register fully, yet the equipment displayed its energy as immense. It was a frequency of pure, structured sorrow. Liam had read the old texts, and maybe even a poem in his youth, the ones that described the Banshee's call not just as a scream, but as a wave of profound grief that simply was. He adjusted the gain. The humming rose, taking on definition. It wasn't a voice. It was the sound of 1,000 weeping strings, a sustained, desperate note that seemed to emanate not from a person, but from the stone and mortar of the house itself. Liam realized the sound wasn't predicting a death. It was the record of all deaths that had happened under that roof. All the heartache of the generations condensed into a single, unbearable sonic event. A thin, reedy whisper finally overlaid the hum, audibly and horribly close. The empty house. It wasn't a threat. It was a lament. The Banshee, the great spirit of sorrow, wasn't crying for a single man, but for the emptiness left behind. The strong ones had departed, the wise were gone, and the house stood as a monument to absence. The Banshee's grief was the sorrow of the past, crying out because there was no one left to remember it properly. As the sound reached a horrifying, crystalline peak, a beautiful, terrible, agonizing sonic image of loss, Liam gripped his controls, feeling his own chest hollow out with the weight of alien grief. In a surge of panicked instinct, he didn't turn the recorder off. He did the opposite. He cranked the master volume down into the sub-bass frequencies and pressed record. He decided not to capture the high, dangerous wail, but the deep, underlying thrum of perpetual sorrow. He knew a scream would kill you, but the deep hum of the empty house would only haunt you forever. He wanted to capture the very core of the ancient Irish tragedy, the sound of the land mourning its own fate. The next morning, Liam walked out into the cold, clean light of day, leaving the manor's emptiness behind. He had the recording, a file of structured silence with the ghost of a sound at its root. He still didn't believe in ghosts, but he now believed irrevocably in the sound of a terrible, immortal sorrow.